Statistically, the majority of my students that I teach over the Skillest app actually miss the green short. Now, sometimes it could be down to club selection, but often it's down to missed strikes. Using my ShotScope coaching dashboard that the majority of my players use, I can see where their stats are strong and where they are at their weakest. And they generally correlate to swing faults. So speaking to 4 of my students in particular over the past week, we've been talking about quality of ball striking. I can see that through their stats on the ShotScope dashboard that they may hit a 7-iron of 175 to 180 yards, but their average may only be 160. Or they may actually bottom out at like 140, which tells you that they're not efficient enough with the quality of ball striking. So today's drill is all about how to improve your irons ball striking so you can hit more greens in regulation. Right, one of the drills that I've been prescribing to the majority of the players is this here old school towel drill. You can't beat it. Fat shots are often an amateur golfer's Achilles heel, whereby the club lands too soon and catches the big ball before the small ball. So what we've got here, we've got a towel approximately 4 to 5 inches behind the ball. You can do a bit of trial and error with this. If you find that you catch it too often, then maybe just give yourself a little bit of leeway. One of the things we want to try and do with this is to encourage the body weight to be pressurizing down into the lead side. What I don't want to do, because we're trying to avoid the towel, we don't want to start going sideways. We don't want to start moving laterally to avoid that towel. So I want to really try and get the feeling that the lower body is rotating and pressuring into that left side or lead side. So at this point now, for me, I've got majority of weight on my left side, on my lead side, but only about 60% or so. So I don't want you to feel that you have to get 100% to your lead side, because what that's going to do is going to cause a lot of lateral movement. You're going to sway, you'll miss the towel, but you'll also hit the ball as well. So the best way to kind of start this drill is actually using another drill to kind of to go with it. So put your feet together, getting the sensation. That's not going to allow you to laterally move towards the target. Feet together drill, you're going to be able to still focus on pressurizing into that lead side and encouraging the club to hit down on the ball. Now, one of the main issues with swinging and catching the ground before the ball can often be golfers getting the club stuck too far on the inside. Lower body pushes in towards the ball. We've done a tip on this recently called early extension, and the club lands because the hands have to react as a result. You could even catch the ball super heavy by being too much on the outside as well. So controlling of the swing path is vital. And again, this is where the feet together drill is fantastic, because it encourages your chest and your hips to kind of work and get that little bit more depth to the top of the backswing, by also encouraging the club to kind of stay in front of your chest to come back into the ball. So really good drill to kind of, two really good drills that you can kind of coincide, and they can work together on helping you with the ball striking. So I'm going to take my setup. I'm going to go with my normal stance to start with. I've got the towel in a pretty good position there, probably about 4 or 5 inches behind the ball. I've got my weight, I often kind of pressurize into this lead side a tiny bit. So if I go 50-50, I would just push my lead hip over my lead foot, and I go about 60-40 favoring my lead side. Then when I get to the top of the backswing, my body weight is now back into 50-50 mode. And as we move back in towards a golf ball, we're back into that lead side again. So the club is still high enough to not hit the towel on the way down. And that is absolutely vital, making sure this towel stays intact. So let's go ahead and give it a go. Just like that. So I've got a very nice, small, tidy divot. Beautiful strike. Ball is on the green, so I haven't left it short. Any slight mishit and the ball would have finished short of the green, and it would have been a bit of a disaster. But perfect ball striking, towel was not affected. And what you could do from now, if you wanted to start getting bold, if you started to get really confident with this, is start bringing the towel closer and closer to the back of the ball. But again, like I said, making sure that you're not laterally moving towards the target. You're still getting to the top, you're still pressurizing into that lead side, and you're still trying to avoid hitting down into the towel. That is going to help you kind of really hone in your ball striking and certainly hit more greens in regulation. Because generally when we see the golfers that I coach, we're not too worried about direction. You don't often miss too many shots to the right, too many shots to the left. But what we do see a lot of is poor ball striking that leaves the ball short of the green. So ball striking is way more important than trying to fix that direction, particularly with these approach shots into the green. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe, hit the like, and I'll see you next time. If you're struggling with ball striking, you want to check out a couple of other drills, you can also go back into the library. There's another really good drill all about the pressuring of the body. So a lot of golfers get confused between weight transfer or sliding or lateral movement in relation to pressure movement in the golf swing. Also, a lot of golfers kind of struggle with the right arm, so they sometimes come into the golf ball and they start to cast as the body starts to move towards the golf ball. The trail arm starts to cast. There's a really good tip all about how to improve your right arm or your trail arm through the golf ball. So go and check those two videos out, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make a huge difference, as well as this one for your learning, for your education, and how you can improve on your ball striking. The best players in the world, they laterally move their body from the center to the lead side. That will never change, because unless we start to coach the body not actually moving anywhere towards the lead side, there's always going to be that lateral movement. Now, in terms of pressure and weight transfer, what's the difference? So for me, the way I like to kind of coach my students is, imagine you're stood on some scales, okay? Argument's sake, let's say there's 100 kilos. If you just sit into your posture, you're 100 kilos, okay? What I want you to try and do as you get to the top of the backswing, I want you to rotate away from the target, but I want you to try and add weight to that 100 kilos. I want you to feel that once you get to the top of the backswing, you're at 110. Now, you're thinking, what on earth are you talking about? How do you make that feel? Now, the feel is a pushing down as you rotate. That's pressure. Now, when I do that, if I start now, 100 kilos, 50-50 body weight between my feet. If I swing up to the top of the backswing, and now I feel like I'm 110. I feel like 110 because I've dropped down into my posture a little bit. I've rotated downwards into my feet. And in terms of weight distribution, I'm now probably 55-45, favouring my back foot. But the pressure in my legs has got greater than when I was at setup. So I've got more pressure here than I do here. I can feel it more, there's more tension. Maybe another better word for it is tension. Pressure, tension, weight there. I feel really like I'm loaded into my lower body. I'm in a really kind of powerful position. Not only do I feel pressure and tension here, I feel it through my body, I feel it through my chest, and once I get to the top of the backswing, I feel it through my arms as well.